And if you go to the ACPE website, on the left-hand side of the web page, there's a menu, and you'll see, I think it says directories, and then you'll see accredited centers. And when you pull up accredited centers, there'll be a map of the mainland U.S. And it's divided by regions. And so you would click on the region on the left-hand side, Gabrielle. Yeah, there we go. So you see there are regions of the country. The Pacific region is on the left, and depending on what region you wanted to be in, you'd click on that, and then when you click on it, the centers are listed by state. And then within a state, they're listed alphabetically. So you see that Altabate Summit Medical Center is first, and then UCSF is somewhere down toward the bottom. And you know, we don't have any feelings about that. But
no one applies to you.
That's right. Yeah, nobody applies to us. So, but you'll notice that let's look at the Altabate Summit Medical Center listing, for example. Let me explain this, because this is good, because you can kind of see what it has. If you clicked on that, that would take you to their website, and that's the website for the hospital. Now, if you can go back to the directory, okay. So then the next thing that's listed is the U.S. postal address to which you would send the application. Department of Chaplaincy Services, 2450 Ashby Avenue, Berkeley, California. Then it has a number that says 1. Now that 1 is a code that tells you what kind of CPE center it is, and I forget what that means. But then it has a phone number, and that's the main phone number you would call if you had questions you wanted answered by phone, and then the fax number if you wanted to fax your application. Then you see programs. CPE, levels 1 and 2, supervisory CPE. This means that the center can offer training for people who are just starting in CPE, people who are doing more advanced levels of CPE, and people who want to become CPE supervisors. Offerings. Winter, spring, summer, fall, year extended. Now that means that this is what they typically offer, but it doesn't mean that this is what they are always offering. So you want to call the center and ask. Like for you, Mika, if you were looking at this listing right now and you said, oh, they offer extended, well, I'll go ahead and apply. I would encourage you not to do that, but to call first and ask them if they were in fact planning to do an extended unit. Just because it's listed on the website doesn't mean they're actually going to do it right now.
Okay.
Yep, you're welcome. Then it says stipends, year, supervisory. So for the year-long program and for supervisory students, they offer a stipend. So if you were taking just a single unit of training with them, you wouldn't get any stipend. That's what that means. Application fee, $30. Then it says supervisors. And you see Carrie Buckner, her name is highlighted. That means you can send her an email. Susan Conrad's name is not highlighted. That means there's no live link. And it looks like Gabriella is going to apply for CPE. So that's how to read a listing. Now look at the Bay Area Center for CPE. This is a little bit different because the Bay Area Center has 3 hospitals where you could do CPE. Altabate Summit, it's 1 hospital. So if you applied to their program, you'd be at the 1 hospital. But at the Bay Area Center, they do all their administrative work for CPE as a center, but then they have 3 separate places where you could work. 2 of them are in San Francisco and 1 is in Redwood City. And then you can see which supervisors are at which locations.
And so with a situation like that, would we just apply to the Bay Area CPE and we could pick which ones? Or
yeah, well, in that case, what I would want to do is contact the supervisor at the site that most interests me. Okay. And then talk with that supervisor, get a sense of how that person is, and then say to that supervisor, I think I want to apply. Do I send it to the main address? And probably the supervisor would say yes, and then put on there some kind of note that you're interested in Sequoia or you're interested in St. Francis or whatever. Now, can you scroll back? Oh, whoa. All right, go down to California and where you see Sutter or Sacramento. So go a little bit further down, please.
That's right in SCP.
Oh, okay, good. Were you with Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit further. Okay, so Sutter Medical Center, Sacramento. You see this? So Sutter Medical Center, Sacramento, same kind of listing information that you had with Altibate Summit, but look underneath where it says Sutter Roseville Medical Center. It's indented, and the reason why it's indented is because Sutter Roseville has ACPE accreditation through Sutter Medical Center, Sacramento. They don't exist independently of Sutter, Sacramento. They are a satellite, is what it's called. You can get fine ACPE supervision at Sutter Roseville. This is just a way that we indicate to ourselves that Sutter Roseville does not have its own independent accreditation at this time.
So would you send in a separate application for, if you were gonna apply to both, you would send in an application to both?
I think so, yes. Because Gerald Jones at Sutter Roseville would read it, and then Lisa Nordlander and John Katona would read for Sutter Sacramento. And that would be fine. They know that that's going to happen, that somebody will apply to both, because there are three CPE centers in the Sacramento area: Sutter Sacramento, Sutter Roseville, and UC Davis. So people are going to apply to all three of those probably. Okay. Now there's mine, UCSF Medical Center and UCSF Children's Hospital. And you can see that Michelle Shields is highlighted. That means that you can click on her name and and send an email. What usually happens is that Michelle reads it and then she forwards it to me, because I do almost all the CPE processing. So chances are good you'd be writing Michelle but then get a response from me. And that centers do it differently depending on how they're. And for some reason we have the number 21 on our listing. I don't know what 21 means. Probably 21 means a university-related hospital, because UCLA also has that number, and so does UC Davis. It doesn't mean you have to be 21 to apply. I think it has to do with the type of hospital we are.
Although you probably should be 21.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of how to read the ACPE directory listing when you're looking at centers. And if they have a website, click on it. The more information you can get. Oh, I've got to talk to them. They've misspelled our listing. But the more information you get, you see it says USCF Children's Hospital. That's wrong. I've got to get them to correct that. Yep. Bad ACPE. So the more information you get about the center before you go, the better off you are. For example, most of the CPE sites will have their own CPE website, where you can get information about the CPE program, when it's running, all that kind of stuff. So definitely do your web research in addition to whatever phone inquiries or in-person conversation you have with the supervisors.
I don't know, I'm sure this will not happen to anyone in this room, but what if you apply to 5 or 6 different sites and get no interviews?
That, occasionally that does happen. What I will say to you is that please don't give up. Try applying to other places. Think about expanding your geographic horizons. I am a big believer in saying you can do CPE anywhere and get a great experience, and there's some really innovative CPE programs out there. If you're willing to relocate, you can get some really cool experiences. There's a center in the Colorado Springs area, I believe, where part of the CPE experience involves riding horses, being around horses and learning from being around these large mammals, some of the wisdom that they might have to teach you that might translate into spiritual care.